Now Little King posts this paperwork, right? And here's the thing I don't like about this paperwork. This is an actual case. For those of us that know, we know this is an actual case. Now let me read this paper.
Welcome back to BuzzBuster. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss daily videos. King Harris just lit up the internet with some wild paperwork claiming 50 Cent actually worked with the feds, and people are absolutely losing it right now. This isn't just any rapper we're talking about. This is 50 Cent, the same man who built his whole career calling out so-called snitches and clowning anyone who even looked like they folded under pressure. Remember, this is the guy who turned Tekashi 6ix9ine into a walking meme for cooperating. But now, King Harris is flashing around what he says are court documents with 50's name stamped all over them, and the streets are going crazy. Guess what? 50 finally broke his silence, and what he said shook the whole hip-hop world.
Let Jimmy Henchman tell you I'm a snitch. Let Prince tell you I'm a snitch. Just say it one time.
This might just be the craziest rap scandal of 2024. We're talking about the man behind many men, the survivor of 9 bullets, the one who roasted Ja Rule, Rick Ross, and anyone who dared question his street cred. And now, people are whispering that maybe 50 wasn't as untouchable as everyone thought. After King Harris dropped those so-called receipts, 50 fired back, and his clapback had everyone glued to their screens. This drama didn't just pop out of nowhere.
They say these things when they want to try. Look, even for me personally, my character, they would try to attack my character. They'll say he a rat or he just a snap. Yeah. All you gotta do is ask him who I told.
It exploded fast, and it's way messier than anyone expected. Because 50 Cent isn't just another rapper, he's hip-hop royalty. He sold over 30 million records, turned his street story into a multi-million-dollar empire, and became the blueprint for power, loyalty, and dominance. His whole brand screams fearless, ruthless, and real. But now, T.I.'s son, King Harris, just stepped up and challenged everything 50 stands for. This isn't some random online beef. This is about legacy, respect, and the unwritten street code that defines an artist's name. For a man who spent years dragging rappers for being fake or weak, this one cuts deep. And the stakes? They couldn't be higher. If any of these allegations hold even a grain of truth, it could completely flip the way people look at one of hip-hop's most respected icons. To really get how this firestorm started, we gotta rewind, because the roots of this drama go way back. Back in early 2024, everything between 50 Cent and T.I. looked solid. 2 rap legends from different eras who'd always shown respect for each other's hustle. But things started shifting when King Harris, T.I.'s 19-year-old son, stepped into the spotlight, trying to carve his own lane in the rap game. King was everywhere online, flexing cars, jewelry, and designer fits while teasing his music. Just a young dude enjoying fame and the fast life. But once 50 Cent noticed him, things flipped quick, and not in a good way. Because let's be honest, trolling is basically 50's favorite sport.
In the Prem situation, look at this case. It'll tell you who told on him. Right. My name ain't in that case.
The man's been clowning people on Instagram for years, turning petty beefs into viral entertainment. He's roasted everyone. Diddy, Ja Rule, Rick Ross, even his own son, Marquise. Nobody is safe when 50's in full troll mode. So when King Harris started posting flashy clips showing off his lifestyle, 50 just couldn't resist. He jumped in, reposted King's videos with clown emojis and slick captions that had the internet cracking up. At first, it looked like harmless fun, just 50 doing what he always does. King would show off a car or chain, and 50 would blast it to his 30 million followers with captions like, "This T.I.'s son?" or "The youth is lost." Classic internet shade that had people laughing and sharing non-stop. But then, everything took a turn, because King Harris wasn't one to stay quiet. Unlike most people who just take 50's jokes and move on, King fired right back, hard. He came for 50's age, calling him too old to be beefing with teenagers and accusing him of acting like a straight-up bully. That should have been where it ended. But come on, this is 50 Cent we're talking about. He never lets anything slide. Instead of cooling off, he doubled down, and that's when things really started spiraling. 50 took it beyond harmless trolling and started throwing shade at T.I. himself, even questioning his parenting. Things went from funny to fiery real fast. 50 started hinting that T.I. couldn't control his own son, throwing shade that King wasn't really built for that street life. At that point, it stopped being jokes and turned into straight-up disrespect. T.I. tried to stay quiet, maybe hoping the storm would pass, but 50 just wouldn't let up. Post after post, he kept pushing the limit, like he always does. Then 50 crossed that line, the one you just don't cross in hip-hop. Out of nowhere, he dragged Tiny, T.I.'s wife and King's mother into the mess. Suddenly, it wasn't about music or trolling anymore. It got personal. 50 started clowning Tiny online, cracking jokes about her looks, bringing up old rumors, and even throwing around plastic surgery jokes that had nothing to do with the situation. He went as far as posting side-by-side photos of Tiny from back in the day compared to now, using them to make cruel comments about her appearance. He even mentioned those old allegations involving T.I. and Tiny, allegations they both denied and were never charged for.
That live went absolutely insane. Over 200,000 people tuned in as King let all his frustration spill out.
You see what I'm saying? But they talking about, they try to use that I needed to order protection, but why it feels like I'm the bully out here then? If I needed protection, you needed protection.
The comment section was chaos. Some fans begged him to chill, warning him that 50 would destroy him online, while others had his back, saying he was right for standing up for his mom. The energy was raw and unfiltered, like watching a real family feud play out live. But here's where things got even crazier. King wasn't just talking, he was planning something behind the scenes. While 50 kept posting memes, clown emojis, and slick captions like it was all a joke, King was digging deep for receipts. And what he found next was about to flip the entire story upside down. The tension between them hit another level. 50, being 50, refused to chill. He just kept going. More memes, more clown emojis, more shots fired. He treated King like a punchline, clowning him in front of millions. One of his posts even said, "T.I., come get your son before I really hurt his feelings. This boy think he tough." You could tell 50 was enjoying every second of it, laughing, trolling, and feeding off the chaos. But King wasn't laughing anymore. He kept firing back with videos, calling 50 a straight-up bully and accusing him of being insecure, saying he had to pick on younger dudes just to stay relevant. The back and forth was no longer just entertainment, it was war. In one fiery post, King snapped hard. "You 48 years old, worried about a teenager, that's crazy. You supposed to be a mogul, but you on Instagram all day like a high school girl." That one hit different, and the internet felt it. People started realizing King wasn't scared to clap back anymore. The comments under his videos were insane. Thousands of likes, people hyping him up, calling him brave for standing his ground. What started as a meme war had turned into a full-blown generational showdown. The old school versus the new wave. Eventually, T.I. had to step in. During an interview, he tried to cool the fire, keeping it respectful but firm. He said he still respected 50, but wished he'd stop dragging his son into public messes. King is young, he's learning, he's growing. I don't know why 50 feels the need to keep going at him. That's not the 50 I know, Tip said calmly. But 50, he wasn't trying to hear any of that. He grabbed that interview clip, reposted it with laughing emojis, and turned the trolling up even more. The internet went wild. What looked like a simple back and forth had now turned into pure online chaos, and people were eating it up. But everything changed on March 15th, 2024. That's the day King Harris dropped a bombshell that froze the entire internet. He posted a string of Instagram stories with what looked like court documents attached, and the caption hit like a missile. "Since you want to talk about who's real and who's fake, let's talk about what you did in 2005. You the biggest snitch in hip-hop, and everybody's too scared to say it." For a second, the internet went dead silent. Then boom, it exploded. The paperwork King dropped looked wild, showing what appeared to be pages from a federal case with 50 Cent's real name, Curtis Jackson, printed all over them. Screenshots spread like wildfire across every platform. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, it was everywhere within minutes. In less than an hour, both 50 Cent and King Harris were trending worldwide.
and your protection gone. That's the truth. That's what the fuck it is.
Right.
And then, look, they used to try to put a spin on anything, like for you, to try and make it look good. And then when you get a beef with or
This was no longer some social media back and forth. This was an accusation that could shake 50's entire legacy. Fans were split. Some demanded answers. Others called it fake, but everyone was talking. Now here's where it gets deep. The documents King posted were tied to a 2005 federal case involving a man named Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a name that carries heavy weight in hip-hop history. If you know anything about 50 Cent's come-up, you already know Supreme played a huge role in that story. Kenneth McGriff was a major figure in Queens, New York, a street legend who ran the Supreme Team, one of the most infamous crews from the 1980s. By the early 2000s, McGriff was trying to go legit, stepping into the music business, but things between him and 50 were far from cool. Their beef ran deep, rooted in old street tension and past threats that nearly ended 50's life. And now, years later, King Harris had just pulled that history back into the spotlight, using it to paint 50 Cent as something he's always claimed not to be. The timing, the paperwork, the accusations, everything about it screamed controversy. This wasn't just rap drama anymore. This was a legacy under fire. The word on the streets was that Kenneth Supreme McGriff felt 50 Cent had broken the code, exposing street business that was never supposed to go public. McGriff was furious, believing 50 had crossed a dangerous line. According to federal prosecutors, McGriff allegedly ordered a hit on 50 as payback, a hit that thankfully failed. But when that didn't work, the feds claimed he went after people close to 50 instead, turning the whole situation even darker. One of those people was Eric E. Moneybags, who was tragically killed in 2002, adding another heavy layer to this already grim story. So when King Harris dropped paperwork tied to that same case with 50's name all over it, it rocked the entire culture. Suddenly, everyone started questioning everything they thought they knew about 50 Cent, wondering if the man who made a career out of calling others snitches had actually been involved with the feds himself.
The streets were in shock. Social media went crazy. People couldn't look away from the mess unraveling in real time. And what made it even deeper, E. Moneybags wasn't just some random name. He was close friends with Jam Master Jay from Run DMC, a true hip-hop legend. Then, not long after, in 2002, Jam Master Jay himself was murdered inside his Queens studio, a tragedy that shook the rap world to its core. Federal investigators suspected Kenneth Supreme McGriff might have been connected to both murders, partly because of his long-running feud with 50 Cent. And that's where the paperwork King Harris dropped suddenly became explosive. According to what King posted, those 2005 federal documents showed that while prosecutors were building their case against McGriff, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson was listed as a cooperating witness. Yeah, that's the part that set the internet on fire. Now, to be clear, cooperation can mean a few different things. Sometimes a person is subpoenaed and forced to testify, meaning they don't have a choice. But other times, they willingly meet with investigators and hand over details voluntarily. The paperwork King posted made it look like 50 didn't just show up because he had to. He allegedly sat down with the feds multiple times. According to those files, 50 met with federal agents at least 3 times between 2003 and 2005.
Disputes with the younger artists, new artists, they don't know what to use against you, so they use whatever someone else used.
Right.
So they go back and they go, oh, you this.
Providing detailed information about McGriff's alleged activities and threats made against him. The paperwork even claimed that 50 gave full accounts of conversations and incidents involving McGriff, and that the details he shared lined up with other evidence the feds already had. And here's the real kicker, the part that had everyone gasping. The paperwork suggested 50 wasn't just dragged into court under a subpoena or forced to testify against his will. It looked like he voluntarily cooperated. That revelation sent shockwaves across hip-hop. Fans were confused, critics were digging for answers, and even 50's most loyal supporters didn't know what to believe. If true, it meant that the same man who'd spent years mocking others for snitching might have done the exact thing he built his brand on rejecting. The irony was too big to ignore, and and the internet couldn't stop talking about it. The documents claimed that 50 Cent had voluntarily met with federal agents before any official testimony was even requested. And if you know anything about the street code, that detail changes everything. There's a massive difference between being forced to testify in open court, where everyone sees you had no choice, and quietly meeting with the feds behind closed doors. That single detail flipped the internet upside down. Fans were split. Some said 50 had crossed the line, while others argued he was just protecting himself from real danger. But make no mistake, the paperwork King Harris posted made things look bad, really bad. The files suggested that 50 Cent had voluntarily worked with federal agents, not under pressure, not under subpoena, but by choice. And one particular document, the one that blew up online, was an official FBI 302 form, the kind agents use to record interviews with witnesses. That form, dated August 5, 2005, described a meeting where Curtis 50 Cent Jackson allegedly gave federal agents information about Kenneth Supreme McGriff's ties in the music industry and his suspected criminal operations. The paperwork even claimed that 50 gave full accounts of conversations and incidents involving McGriff, and that the details he shared lined up with other evidence the feds already had. And here's the real kicker, the part that had everyone gasping. The paperwork suggested 50 wasn't just dragged into court under a subpoena or forced to testify against his will. It looked like he voluntarily cooperated. That revelation sent shockwaves across hip-hop. Fans were confused, critics were digging for answers, and even 50's most loyal supporters didn't know what to believe. If true, it meant that the same man who'd spent years mocking others for snitching might have done the exact thing he built his brand on rejecting. The irony was too big to ignore, and the internet couldn't stop talking about it. The documents claimed that 50 Cent had voluntarily met with federal agents before any official testimony was even requested. And if you know anything about the street code, that detail changes everything. There's a massive difference between being forced to testify in open court, where everyone sees you had no choice, and quietly meeting with the feds behind closed doors. That single detail flipped the internet upside down. Fans were split. Some said 50 had crossed the line, while others argued he was just protecting himself from real danger. But make no mistake, the paperwork King Harris posted made things look bad, really bad. The files suggested that 50 Cent had voluntarily worked with federal agents, not under pressure, not under subpoena, but by choice. And one particular document, the one that blew up online, was an official FBI 302 form.
You heard it when Meek was talking shit, and then you heard it when French was talking. And it's like, I don't take offense to it when they're doing it, because I know what they're doing. Right.
The kind agents use to record interviews with witnesses. That form, dated August 5, 2005, described a meeting where Curtis 50 Cent Jackson allegedly gave federal agents information about Kenneth Supreme McGriff's ties in the music industry and his suspected criminal operations. The paperwork even claimed that 50 gave full accounts of conversations and incidents involving McGriff, and that the details he shared lined up with other evidence the feds already had. And here's the real kicker, the part that had everyone gasping. The paperwork suggested 50 wasn't just dragged into court under a subpoena or forced to testify against his will. It looked like he voluntarily cooperated. That revelation sent shockwaves across hip-hop. Fans were confused, critics were digging for answers, and even 50's most loyal supporters didn't know what to believe. If true, it meant that the same man who'd spent years mocking others for snitching might have done the exact thing he built his brand on rejecting. The irony was too big to ignore, and the internet couldn't stop talking about it.
King Harris's live stream went nuclear, pulling in over 500,000 viewers in real time. The chat was pure chaos, comments flying nonstop as people argued, picked sides, and dropped their takes. Some were defending 50, saying he had every right to protect himself after surviving 9 bullets. Others didn't care about any of that. They said straight up, if you talk to the feds, you a snitch, period. The debate was wild. People were heated, emotions were high, and the internet was locked in. King kept the pressure on hard. He wasn't backing off one bit. He said, I ain't making this up. These are real federal court documents,
public record. Y'all can look it up yourselves. Case number 05-00539, United States versus Kenneth McGriff. Go read it. Curtis Jackson is listed right there as a witness who provided information to federal agents. That alone had people's jaws on the floor. But then King hit everyone with another bombshell. He said, and before y'all start saying he got subpoenaed and had no choice, check the dates. He was meeting with them before he was even called to testify. That's voluntary cooperation. At that point, the internet completely melted down. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram were flooded with screenshots, memes, and debates that lasted for hours. But just when folks thought they'd seen it all, more details from those same documents started leaking, and they made everything even messier. Turns out that in 2008, when McGriff's case finally went to trial, 50 Cent actually refused to testify in open court. He told the judge he feared for his safety and didn't want that snitch label following him around. Things got so tense that the judge even threatened to hold him in contempt of court if he didn't take the stand. Eventually, 50's lawyer struck a quiet deal behind closed doors. His previous FBI statements would be entered into evidence, but he wouldn't have to appear in court himself. It was a slick legal move, but to the public, it looked shady. King Harris made sure everyone caught that part too. On Live, he said, see, he gave the feds everything they needed, but when it came time to testify, he tried to hide. He didn't want to be seen doing it because he knew how bad it would look. He wanted to help the feds, but not get caught helping them. That's even worse. At least own what you did. The live chat exploded. Viewers were stunned, dropping thousands of comments by the second. Some called King brave for speaking on it. Others said he was going too far, but nobody could look away. He even started reading out the receipts, pulling up names, dates, times, and notes from those same FBI files, breaking them down one by one while the audience watched in disbelief. According to those FBI 302 forms, things got real specific. The paperwork claimed that Curtis 50 Cent Jackson told agents about private meetings where Kenneth Supreme McGriff allegedly discussed his drug operations and connections in the music industry. He laid it all out in front of hundreds of thousands of people, saying he just wanted the truth out there. No filters, no edits, just facts. It was the kind of live that stopped hip-hop in its tracks. Everyone, fans, bloggers, even other rappers were glued to their screens, replaying clips, dissecting every word, and questioning everything they thought they knew about 50 Cent. The controversy had reached a boiling point, and the hip-hop world had never seen anything like it. According to what King Harris exposed, 50 Cent supposedly gave up specific details about Kenneth Supreme McGriff's crew, naming associates and explaining their exact roles inside the operation. He allegedly even described direct threats made against him and broke down the real meaning behind his track Ghetto Quran, explaining why that song had McGriff so furious in the first place. All of that information, according to those reports, was later used by prosecutors to help build their case, proving motive, opportunity, and the structure of McGriff's criminal empire. But the most jaw-dropping part? One of those federal documents claimed that 50 even handed over financial information, allegedly exposing how McGriff was moving drug money through music industry investments. That kind of intel is what prosecutors dream about. It's gold for building major RICO cases. And those filings reportedly mentioned 50's cooperation multiple times throughout the government's internal notes. Whether people believed it or not, the claims alone were enough to shake hip-hop to its core. Eventually, in 2007, Kenneth Supreme McGriff was convicted on murder-for-hire charges and sentenced to life in prison. The conviction was built on multiple witnesses, phone records, and stacks of evidence, but the reports suggested that 50's alleged cooperation played a key part in the prosecution's storyline.
You know what I'm saying? I took offense for where it actually started, and you never let Jimmy Henchman tell you I'm a...
Even the judge mentioned during sentencing that testimony about McGriff's threats and ongoing criminal behavior helped prove he was a danger to the community. So when King Harris dropped those papers online, the internet went into full-blown meltdown again. But this time, 50 did something nobody expected. He went completely silent. For almost 48 hours, not a word, not a meme, not even a shady caption. And that's unheard of for 50, who's known for trolling people like it's a daily hobby. Fans noticed instantly something was off. The man who always had the last word suddenly had nothing to say.
Speculation spread like wildfire.
Some people claimed his lawyers told him to stay quiet until they could verify the documents. Others thought he was sitting back, plotting the perfect comeback to flip the narrative. But that silence, it only made things worse. The internet started reading it as a sign of guilt. Fans filled his comment sections, demanding answers. People said, "Where's the energy now, 50?" Others joked that for once, the king of clapbacks had no memes left in the chamber. The louder the internet got, the quieter 50 stayed, and that made the whole thing even more suspicious. Then, on March 17, 2024, everything changed. 50 Cent finally broke his silence, and he did it the only way 50 knows how, big and loud. He jumped back on Instagram with a video, ready to address the entire situation head-on. The post dropped like a bomb. Everyone was refreshing their feeds, waiting to see what he'd say. Would he deny it? Would he double down? Nobody knew, but one thing was for sure. The rap world was holding its breath. This wasn't just another internet beef anymore. This was about legacy, truth, and survival in an industry built on reputation. When 50 finally reappeared online, he smirked at the camera and said, "Y'all really think I'm worried about some paperwork from 20 years ago?" That one line instantly set the internet on fire. Nobody could tell if 50 was brushing it off or trying to hide something. But one thing was crystal clear. The drama was far from over. 50 didn't hold back one bit in that video. He came out swinging, eyes locked on the camera, voice sharp, full of fire. He started off saying, "Let me explain something to you kids who don't understand how the real world works." Then he broke it all down with raw emotion that you could feel. When someone tries to kill you, and I mean really tries to kill you, shoot you 9 times and leave you for dead, you got every right to protect yourself. The feds came to me. I didn't go to them. They already had a case. They asked me about threats on my life. That's not snitching, that's survival. His tone was serious, steady, and full of conviction. Kenneth Supreme McGriff tried to have me murdered multiple times. He killed people close to me. You think I'm supposed to just sit back and stay quiet while he keeps coming for me? Nah, I did what I had to do to protect myself and my family. Then 50 made sure to clarify one key detail. And for the record, I never testified in court. I never sat on no witness stand pointing fingers at nobody. The feds used information I gave them about threats made against me. That's different. But after defending himself, 50 quickly flipped the script and went straight for King Harris. He looked dead into the camera and said, "This kid, T.I.'s son, talking about paperwork he found online. He wasn't even born when this happened. You don't know nothing about what I went through. You living off your daddy's name, posting on Instagram, thinking you tough." Then he dropped the coldest line of the night, one that had social media buzzing nonstop. "I survived the streets. I survived getting shot 9 times. I built an empire. What have you done? You're 19 years old with no stripes, talking about me? That's crazy." That clip went absolutely nuclear. Millions of views across every platform within hours. People couldn't stop sharing it. The internet immediately split into 2 sides again. Some fans backed 50 hard, saying he had every right to protect himself after surviving what most people wouldn't make it through once. They said, "That's not snitching, that's staying alive." Others weren't having it. They said 50 was dodging the real question, spinning the story his own way like he always does. The debate got ugly fast, with arguments flooding timelines and comment sections everywhere. Either way, one thing was undeniable. The energy was off the charts. This wasn't just another clapback video. This was 50 Cent reminding the world exactly who he is and why his name still carries weight in every corner of hip-hop. By the end of the night, the internet had turned into a full-blown war zone. People were dropping threads, posting receipts, and making think pieces about loyalty, survival, and street ethics. Some said 50 had a point, that protecting yourself after being nearly killed isn't the same as snitching on your own crew. But others weren't having it. They said 50 was dodging the real question, spinning the story his own way like he always does. Now, the tables had turned. 50 couldn't act like the rules didn't apply to him anymore.
The same code he'd spent years preaching was now circling back on him. But before the dust even settled, King Harris came flying back with another clapback that shook the timeline. Within hours, King jumped on another Instagram Live, his tone fiery, his energy wild. Oh, now he want to explain it? Now he want to give context? King snapped. But when it was Tekashi, when it was anybody else, he didn't care no context. He didn't care no reasons. He just called them rats and destroyed their careers.
Then he dropped the line that had everyone nodding. You can't have it both ways. Either cooperating with the feds is wrong or it's not. You don't get to decide when it's okay just because it's you. The chat went crazy. Comments were flying faster than the stream could load. But King wasn't done yet, not even close. He kept going, his voice rising with every word. And he keeps saying he'd never testified in court like that makes it better, bruh. You met with FBI agents multiple times. You gave them detailed info. You helped them build their case. The only reason you didn't testify in person is because you didn't want people seeing you do it. That's not better, that's worse. You wanted to help the feds, but hide it from the public. That line hit like a grenade. The internet exploded. Every platform was on fire. Twitter threads, TikTok clips, YouTube podcasts. Everyone had something to say. Big hip-hop voices even jumped in, debating whether King was spitting facts or just chasing headlines. Some rappers defended 50, saying his situation was different, that he wasn't flipping on his crew. He was surviving after multiple hits on his life. Man got shot 9 times. That's self-preservation, one fan wrote. But others stood firm on the street code. If you talk to the feds, you're a snitch, period. No exceptions. It became the biggest debate hip-hop had seen in years, a cultural war between street rules and self-defense. Every podcast, gossip page, and rap forum was breaking it down, line by line, post by post. But just when people thought maybe the storm would calm down, 50 Cent fired back again, and this time he turned the heat all the way up. He posted another message, more aggressive than anything he'd said before. King Harris, you really want to keep going? I'll expose everything about your family. I'll show the world what T.I. really is. I'll show what your mama really did. You think you did something by posting old paperwork? That post sent shockwaves through every platform. The comment section exploded instantly. People couldn't believe what they were reading. This wasn't just playful internet beef anymore. This was personal. 50 had just threatened to air out T.I.'s family business in front of the entire world. The reaction was immediate. Fans, influencers, and even other celebrities jumped in, begging both sides to chill before things got out of hand. But at that point, it was too late. The situation had already gone beyond rap. The drama had crossed into dangerous territory, a place where family secrets, real emotions, and reputation were all on the line. Everyone watching knew it. This wasn't just content anymore. It was war in real time, and the whole internet couldn't look away. Things were about to get way uglier. 50 Cent wasn't done, not even close. He doubled down with a threat that shook the entire internet to its core. He posted, "I got current information that'll destroy your whole family legacy. Try me." That one line crossed another serious boundary. At that moment, 50 wasn't just defending his own name anymore. He was threatening to drag T.I. and Tiny's private life into the public spotlight. The situation had officially spiraled out of control. That's when T.I. finally stepped in, and he came in strong. He posted directly at 50, saying, "50, you my brother. But now you threatening my family over some Instagram beef with my son? That's not how we move. Let's talk man to man, not on social media." It was the first time Tip came for 50 publicly, and it showed he was done watching from the sidelines. The feud had gone from online drama to real-world tension, the kind that could destroy reputations and relationships in seconds. As of right now, the whole thing is still unfolding, but one fact hit hard. The paperwork that King Harris exposed turned out to be real. Multiple hip-hop journalists and investigators confirmed that those federal court documents actually exist,
And yes, they show 50 Cent's name tied to cooperation with federal agents in the Kenneth M. Supreme McGriff case. Now, whether that makes him a snitch or not depends on how you see it and how deep you believe in the street code. Some people said 50 did what any man would have done after surviving multiple attempts on his life, calling it self-defense, not betrayal. But others stood firm on the street code. If you talk to the feds, you're a snitch. Period. No exceptions.
And that's where things get messy, because it's a tough argument to make when you spent 2 decades showing zero mercy to anyone else in that same position. Fans called it poetic justice. Others called it karma. The hip-hop community split clean down the middle. The older heads who lived through the McGriff era, the ones who remember when 50 got shot 9 times, mostly sided with him. They said he was just doing what he had to do to stay alive in a war he didn't start. But the younger generation and the hardcore street purists, they weren't buying it. They said talking to the feds is talking to the feds, no matter what your reason is. And that divide has turned this whole scandal into one of the most explosive culture wars hip-hop's seen in years. As the drama kept unfolding, the story only got crazier. Suddenly, it wasn't just fans weighing in. Everybody in hip-hop had something to say. Major blogs were dropping think pieces, podcasts were running emergency episodes, and even OG rappers started chiming in, trying to pick sides in what had officially become the biggest hip-hop debate of 2024. Some legends tried to cool it off, calling for peace between the families, saying, "This is going too far, y'all need to handle it off the internet." But others, they added fuel to the fire. Screenshots started surfacing, showing producers, DJs, and even 50's former collaborators whispering that this wasn't brand new information at all, that rumors about 50 cooperating had been floating around the industry for years, long before King Harris ever brought the paperwork to light. The question now wasn't just about whether the documents were real, it was about how much people already knew, and who else had been keeping quiet all this time. The streets were buzzing, the blogs were eating it up, and hip-hop's biggest name was right in the middle of a storm no meme could fix. Nobody had ever dared to post the proof until now. For years, whispers about 50 Cent's cooperation had floated through the industry, but nobody had the guts to actually bring the receipts. Now that King Harris had done it, everyone was dissecting every page, every word, every signature. But while the internet obsessed over old paperwork, King wasn't slowing down, not even a bit. He dropped another fiery post that kept the spotlight blazing. "I'm not doing this for clout, I'm doing this for the truth. All these rappers act tough until their own dirt comes out. My generation deserves to know what's real." That line hit hard. It wasn't just a diss, it sparked a full-blown generational debate about what being real even means anymore in hip-hop. The older artists stood firm, saying the street code was sacred, the very foundation the culture was built on. But the younger crowd pushed back, arguing that times have changed. They said loyalty shouldn't mean dying in silence when your life's in danger. The culture was clashing in real time, old values versus new rules. Meanwhile, 50 wasn't about to stay silent either. He went live again, pacing back and forth inside his mansion, camera locked on him, voice sharp and loaded with attitude. "Y'all want drama? I'll give you drama. But understand something, I'm still here cause I play smart. Y'all confuse surviving with snitching. I ain't never folded on my people. I protected what's mine." That trademark 50 confidence was there, cocky, controlled, and calculated, but you could see it in his eyes. The heat was getting to him. His comment section was a battlefield, fans going at it like it was digital war. Some backed him hard, saying he's a legend, period. He earned the right to defend himself. Others fired right back. Nah, you can't clown people for snitching your whole career and then say it's different when it's you. The tension was insane. Hip-hop hadn't been this divided in years. Then, reports started circulating that T.I. and 50 had a private phone call after things got way too real online. According to sources close to both camps, T.I. wanted to cool the situation down before it spiraled out of control. Where it is, both men agreed to keep their families out of it. No more threats, no more personal shots. But even in that supposed peace talk, insiders claimed 50 told Tip straight up that he wasn't apologizing for defending his name.
He stood firm on that. By the end of the week, though, the tension hadn't died down. It just shifted. 50 started teasing something new, hitting to a project that he claimed would make everything make sense. He told fans they'd understand once they heard it. Was it a diss track? A documentary? Nobody knew, but everybody was watching. At the same time, King Harris wasn't backing off either. He went on IG again, hinting that he still had more receipts, more proof that he'd drop if 50 kept talking. The energy between them was like a ticking bomb, both sides ready, both refusing to back down. At this point, it wasn't just a beef anymore. It had turned into a full-blown generational showdown about values, reputation, and what it truly means to live by the code. Everyone was tuned in. Fans, bloggers, podcasters, even OGs from the golden era, all waiting to see who'd make the next move and wondering that maybe, just maybe, 50 Cent had finally met his match.
By the start of April 2024, the story had completely taken over hip-hop. Every blog, every YouTube channel, every podcast, every talk show, all locked in on 50 Cent versus King Harris. What started as a few petty Instagram posts had grown into a cultural earthquake, shaking up everything people thought they knew about loyalty, legacy, and the street code. But then, just when everyone thought it couldn't get any crazier, the plot thickened again. Out of nowhere, new leaked footage surfaced online, a short, grainy clip that supposedly showed 50 Cent meeting with federal investigators back in the early 2000s. The video spread like wildfire, and the internet was about to explode all over again. The footage that dropped was grainy and low quality, but fans swore it was real. Within minutes, the internet went absolutely insane. Hashtags like Paperwork50 and street code scandals exploded worldwide. Everyone was talking, arguing, and posting theories non-stop. Some fans claimed the clip looked edited, maybe even fake, while others were 100% convinced it was the final proof that 50 Cent really did sit down with federal investigators back in the day. The debate got so hot that even mainstream news outlets outside of hip-hop jumped on the story. CNN, Complex, and The Shade Room all dropped reports breaking down the timeline of events, analyzing every rumor, and replaying the clip frame by frame. What started as a rap beef had officially crossed into national news territory. Meanwhile, King Harris wasn't letting up. He doubled down again, posting on his Instagram story, "Don't say I'm lying when the truth keep popping up. The streets been knowing, y'all just didn't want to see it." That post went crazy. Over 1 million views in under an hour, with the comment section exploding like wildfire. Some people cheered him on, calling him brave for standing on truth, while others warned him to chill before things got too real. You could feel the tension rising by the minute. It was pure chaos online. While the internet lost its mind, 50 Cent disappeared again. No memes, no posts, nothing. Fans started wondering if he was planning something big behind the scenes, and 3 days later, he proved them right. Out of nowhere, 50 dropped a mysterious trailer on his Instagram titled "The Real Story." The video opened with his deep voice saying, "Everybody think they know the truth, but they only know what they've been told." Flashes of Queens, grainy street footage, and old photos of 50 from his early days filled the screen. Then came the chilling final frame, a black screen with the words, "Coming soon, the truth behind the paperwork." The internet went into a total meltdown. Nobody knew what to think. Was 50 about to clear his name, or was this another power move, a way to clap back with his own receipts and flip the entire story? Fans flooded his comments demanding answers, while bloggers and YouTubers started speculating non-stop. Everyone was convinced that 50 was about to drop something that could completely rewrite the narrative. Meanwhile, whispers in the industry started spreading fast. T.I. was reportedly furious that things had gone this far. Sources close to his camp claimed he was trying to calm the storm, telling friends he didn't want his family dragged any deeper into what had now become a circus. But the younger generation wasn't backing down, not even for a second. To them, King Harris had become something of a hero, the young voice brave enough to challenge a hip-hop titan and demand accountability from a legend.
The older heads, though, they saw it completely differently. They called King's actions disrespectful, saying he was playing with fire by going up against one of the most powerful figures in the rap game. To them, 50 wasn't just an artist, he was hip-hop royalty, a survivor who had earned his throne through blood, hustle, and grit. Now the scene was pure madness, leaked footage, a rumored documentary, and 2 generations of rap fans clashing online in the biggest digital showdown hip-hop had ever seen. 50 Cent, the mogul, the survivor, the troll king, was standing in the center of a cultural earthquake, facing the one thing he'd never truly battled before, his own legacy. And King Harris, he'd gone from being T.I.'s son to a lightning rod for a generational movement, a kid shaking the entire culture by questioning what real really means in today's world. With tensions high sky, the stakes couldn't be bigger. 50's upcoming project had everyone on edge. Was it a confession, a defense, or a master plan to turn the tables yet again?
At this point, one thing was certain. The truth itself had become hip-hop's biggest mystery, and everyone, from fans to legends, was waiting to see who would make the next move. King Harris came out of this wild situation with major respect. Love him or hate him, you can't deny he stood toe-to-toe with one of hip-hop's most fearless figures, 50 Cent, and backed up every word with real documentation. Whether you agree with him or not, King did his homework. He didn't just talk, he brought receipts. That alone earned him credibility in a moment when most people thought 50 would completely crush him. Meanwhile, T.I. was caught right in the middle, torn between protecting his son and keeping peace with someone he's long considered a friend in the game. Tip's been trying to stop things from going nuclear, working behind the scenes to de-escalate the drama while shielding his family from 50's threats to air out more personal business. It's a tough spot for any father, but even tougher when millions of people are watching your every move like it's a reality show. As for 50 Cent, his reputation definitely took a hit. But let's be real, this man's a survivor. He's been shot 9 times, declared bankruptcy, and gone head-to-head with some of the biggest names in hip-hop history. He's built for controversy. It's practically in his DNA. His fan base is loyal to the core, but even they admit, once that Snitch label gets attached to your name, it's hard to shake it off. And in a culture where street credibility still means everything, this scandal struck right where it hurts most, 50's moral high ground. But the bigger picture here isn't just about 50 or King. It's about what this whole saga says about hip-hop today. For decades, cooperating with law enforcement has been considered the ultimate violation of the street code, the one rule you don't break. But as hip-hop evolved, becoming more mainstream, global, and corporate, those hard lines have started to blur. The game ain't the same anymore, and King Harris just forced everybody to face that truth. From rap legends to new-gen artists, people are now asking uncomfortable questions. What does real even mean in 2024? Is survival the same thing as betrayal? Can you protect yourself without breaking the code? King might not have all the answers, but he's the one who started the conversation the culture needed. No cap, he made hip-hop look at itself in the mirror. This is easily one of the wildest beefs of 2024, and something tells us this ride ain't over yet. 50 Cent has never been the type to let anything slide, and King Harris has made it crystal clear he's not backing down anytime soon. The paperwork is public record now. Anyone can read it, analyze it, and form their own opinion. Whether it actually changes how people see 50 in the long run, that's still up in the air. But one thing's undeniable. King Harris did something almost nobody's ever managed to do. He got under 50 Cent's skin. He made the master of trolling play defense for once. Even Ja Rule, one of 50's biggest rivals, couldn't pull that off. This story's far from finished, and the world's watching every new twist like it's the next season of a hit show. If you've been locked into this crazy saga, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. So tell us, whose side are you on? 50 Cent or King Harris? Let's hear it.